response to say do it live. So that's what we're doing.
Worth a shot, right?
Yeah. So Dad's in town, surprisingly. We had my birthday coming up, and him and my wife had a secret powwow, and he showed up at midnight last night. So that happened, and so now we're here.
Slowly.
I'm going to need you to speak up because that's the microphone.
All right. Sounds good.
So, real quick, because I know you guys have been keeping tabs. This is in the Pick'em League last week. Trevor went 7-6-1. Garrett went 8-5-1. Evan went 6-7-1. I did 6-7-1. So I have a 4-game lead, 51-47-7. Garrett and Trevor 47-51-7, and Evans at 46-52-7. So.
And I didn't get invited.
Well, it's just a high school buddies thing.
Oh, okay. Well, I just
so, in fact, I'm going to have you hold that for a second because I'm going to have to write down my stuff for this week. Otherwise, I'm going to forget who I picked. So, let's see here. Do you want to share this out on your page? I need to share this out on my page too, so people can come join us. Let's see here. So, guys, give us 1 second. This is important. It's the inaugural live feed, the maiden voyage. Let's see. All right. Mine's done. So, Dad has a list of topics that he wanted to hit earlier, and we'll discuss. What?
Nothing. I don't know how to do this.
We'll pull up your Facebook page. We'll help you out.
Okay.
So, what, you good?
Yeah.
Okay. Actually, I'm going to adjust this a little bit. That was jolting. Sorry. Because that logo's in the way here. Let's see here. Oops. Where do you want to start, Dad? It's my dad, Eugene. If you guys are new to the stream, hello, Dakota.
Hey.
Thank you for tuning in.
Awesome.
Appreciate it. You guys are the best. Really appreciate that. Let's see how I can do it. So you start with the questions, and I'll try and go find this.
Well, I think since we're right in the middle of football season, it's a good time to talk about a little college football.
Mm-hmm.
And do you see some big disparaging as far as everybody leaning toward the SEC, as far as them the strength conference? What do you have opinions about that?
The NCAA definitely treats the SEC like it's privileged. I mean, I think that's fair to say. It's one of those things that it's kind of like the ACC in basketball.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say? Like Duke, North Carolina, Virginia, they get a lot of love. They're called the best conference for basketball. Honestly, the Big 12 last year was probably better. But as far as football goes, SEC is kind of known as the conference to be in. Sorry, let me get this out for you. Come hang out. Is that okay?
Yeah,
Let me say that correctly phonetically. Oh, we are live. There you go. So I think the SEC is very much favored upon in the college football playoff and the way that they do their ranking system and all that stuff. And I think at the end of the day, they are a really good football conference, but I think there are good football teams around the country that aren't in the SEC. Your thoughts?
Right. Well, I had noticed up until this week, I mean, ESPN is always heavy duty on the SEC. And
Always.
I know that's because they have connections with the SEC network and all
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff.
Yep.
But I noticed on the other major networks this week there was a couple of snippets as far as the best conference and the best schools we playing
Right.
here, and so.
Oh, you mean
know,
CBS?
Yeah.
We could say it because we're on the internet.
Okay.
So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, that'll be CBS that has the best conference, the best game is what they claim. Yeah.
Right. So.
If I'm not mistaken, I think it might have been the Big Ten that had their network first. I think the SEC was the one that was signed by ESPN, And so clearly there's ties there. They have their own ESPN show. It's called SEC Nation. Right. It's the same time as College Game Day on Saturdays. So do I think their favoritism leans toward the SEC? Yes. But I think there's always, like right now, if you look at the AP Top 10, let me pull it up here. It's like hardcore blue blood football teams. Like, have you seen this lately? Because I know one of your other questions was coming up is possibly about Texas. But right now the AP Top 25. Let me just pull this up for you guys. Let me make sure this is correct. Yep. So there we are. Alabama, Clemson, Notre Dame, LSU, Michigan, Texas, Georgia, Oklahoma, Florida, UCF, and then Ohio State. So you have these traditional powerhouses. Alabama, obviously. Clemson's undefeated. Notre Dame's undefeated, which I know there was another question you had about that. LSU, Michigan, Texas, Georgia, Oklahoma, Florida. As long as those teams are around, I don't think that the SEC will show that much. But Alabama, LSU, and Georgia, and Florida, all in the top 10. 4 of the top 10 teams are SEC teams.
Right.
So.
Okay.
Good question.
Just checking.
Good question. Not sponsored, by the
way. And kind of led into
free chicken.
Kind of leading into
Please.
That. You've got Texas that kind of shot into the spotlight. I mean, I know they're 4-1. They shot in the spotlight after they beat OU.
Mm-hmm.
Are they for real, or is it all smoke and mirrors?
Texas, right now? I'm right now. If Sam Ehlinger gets healthy for this week, I know he had a shoulder. Yeah, here we go. So it's even showing up. Should face Oklahoma State on Saturday. He also had some hand issues. 5 points difference, and they were an undefeated football team this year. So I don't even know how high they would have been because they were preseason ranked in the top 14. In fact, I can find that out really quick. But I think it was one of those things. They were really high up, and then they dropped clearly because of the loss in week 1. But it seemed like they were on a trek to be probably a top 2 or 3 team in the nation. Texas, come on, computer. I think Texas is for real. Their upcoming schedule is not too bad. I know the Big 12 is obviously tough, but the fact that they've already gotten through Oklahoma is nice. At Oklahoma State on Saturday, they're at home against West Virginia, at Texas Tech versus Iowa State, and at KU. Definitely winnable games. Possibility to run the table.
Don't you think West Virginia sets up as a trap game though? Because they're probably their biggest. Tech always gives them some trouble.
At Lubbock,
they always give them trouble.
Yeah.
But West Virginia, and especially with West Virginia and Texas Tech back to back, that kind of sets up if you're not careful.
Well, and the fact that there's no week off in the Big 12, as I like to say, but West Virginia is going to be, trying to nip at the heels of Texas, who's leading the Big 12 right now, undefeated in conference play. And then Texas Tech, slowly but surely, they're at 3-1. So if West Virginia gets knocked off, if Oklahoma somehow loses another game, that game at Lubbock on November the 10th could turn into a really big one.
So do you see, how does the Big 12 championship, how does that play out this year? Is it the 2 best records?
Yes.
Because there's not a North and a South, East and West. It's 2 best records.
Yeah, 2 best teams in the conference. It's the only. That's kind of what their claim to fame is the 2 best teams in the conference play for the actual championship game. It's not North, South, or East and West.
Right. And so was that the Big 12's way of getting more recognition to get somebody into the playoff system?
Yeah, because they got snubbed. TCU got snubbed one year. Was it Baylor that had that really good year that got snubbed out?
Right.
So there were some times that the Big 12 wasn't getting enough recognition, that SEC bias. Early on, I think it was TCU on the first year of the playoff that they chose Ohio State over TCU. I could be wrong. They chose Ohio State over TCU, and then Ohio State ended up winning it. Ezekiel Elliott and that team won the national championship. So I think the college football playoff is good, and but Does the Big 12 need a little bit more recognition? Yes.
Sure.
Absolutely.
Sure. Just one add-on kind of thought to the top 10.
Mm-hmm.
Were you surprised at how far Ohio State's dropped because of the one loss?
Well, let me look here, because hello, Rebecca and Nathan. Appreciate you guys saying hello. Actually, Ohio State is one of those teams that, so they dropped 9 last week. Clearly, their loss was, it was not pretty. So, like, you look at their schedule, they blew people out for a while. I mean, closest game was at Penn State at the time, and they won by 1 point. And then to go to Purdue and just get smacked in the teeth by 29 points. They should have dropped 9 spots, because that typically means that they're going to have a harder road to hoe to get back to the college football playoff. So the fact that they lost to Purdue on the road by 29, and then they have Nebraska, at Michigan State, at Maryland, and then at home against Michigan at the Horseshoe. Ohio State and Michigan always comes down to being a big game for them, but that could be gigantic. So do
you see a scenario where, because we have seen some one-loss teams make it into the playoffs, do you see them still having a chance to make it in if they can run the tables? Or are some dramatic things going to have to happen at the top in order for that to happen?
Well, definitely something dramatic would have to happen. Alabama's not losing.
Right.
I think, can everybody agree, Alabama's the best team in football.
They could beat some NFL
Nah.
teams.
Well, that's a different discussion.
So they beat the Browns.
No. Whoa, don't beat up on my Brownies now. You've watched this for long enough to know my Browns have turned the table.
Maybe not.
Which, by the way, if I was never a Cowboy fan, I would have been a Browns fan now. I don't know. Well, the Chiefs are intoxicating right now, too. Alabama's not losing. Clemson had a scare.
Yeah.
They're always have a scare. They lost to Pitt last year. They almost lost this year to Syracuse. I think Notre Dame at some point loses. Notre Dame has a couple of games coming up, and then I think they finish with USC. So I think they'll lose. Obviously, LSU and Alabama have to go through each other, and if Alabama doesn't lose, then LSU has to lose.
Right.
Michigan has to play Ohio State at the end of the year. Texas has already played Oklahoma, so their only massive game left really is West Virginia, pending anything Texas Tech does crazy. And then Georgia, already one loss. Oklahoma, the loss to a team that's in front of them. And then Florida's right there creeping, then UCF's undefeated. So something dramatic would have to happen for Ohio State to get in. I think you have to beat Michigan at the end of the year. And you probably have to hope that LSU drops a bunch. Either Texas or Oklahoma loses somehow. I don't see either one of those teams losing again. And Notre Dame's going to lose. It might not have to be super dramatic, but they could make it. I would imagine that I haven't looked at anything, but I imagine their chances are less than 30%.
Right.
So.
Cool.
So what else?
We got one more thought on
do
college.
One more?
Yeah, let's do one more on college.
Because we're only at 15 minutes.
Oh,
we're fine.
We're good.
We're fine.
So should college athletes be compensated beyond their scholarships? I know that's a big topic. It's been out there for a while.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of strong feelings on both sides.
We talked last week on the podcast about a statistic that came out. It was done, Business Insider, I think, did the study. And it was of 127 FBS schools, college football made $31 million last year. College basketball, $8 million. Most likely March Madness, right? Because March Madness and then CBS has some games during the year. ESPN has that, what do they call it? Mondays.
Big Monday.
Big Monday. Yeah, just Big Monday. Original. I was trying to think Manic Monday, something like that. But, and then after that, it's men's hockey, $2 million. Women's basketball, probably March Madness, ESPN deal, $1.2 million. And then everything else, every other sport, is under $1 million, which $1 million is a bunch of money, don't get me wrong. But for a school to compensate. In fact, $31 million is going into football, split up among 127 FBS schools. I imagine SEC schools get more. Big 12 schools, Power 5 conferences with big television deals are going to get more money. But in my opinion, I think for a couple of reasons they should get paid. One of them in the fact that a lot of guys come from troubled backgrounds and they're trying to take care of their family. They're trying to make it to the pros. I think it would maybe take a little pressure off of college football to try and keep these guys if they got compensated a little bit. Same thing with college basketball and the fact that college basketball might cease to exist at some point, in my opinion. Because a high schooler just signed with LeBron James agency and is making $200,000, and he was a 5-star recruit and turned down Syracuse. Like, there are some things going on there that need to be addressed. $125,000 base salary for the G League in the NBA. So, for me, personally, the NFL and the NCAA have a better relationship than maybe NCAA basketball does with the NBA.
But wouldn't you...
So compensation helps,
right.
Keeps kids in school, right? So if you're going to get an education, which is already a large sum of money, which I know we talked about this earlier among the family, I agree it's a ton of money. However, a little bit of extra money to send home to family members, which if that's the case, and they're not going to go spend it on getting in trouble and stuff like that, then I don't see the problem with compensating at least the major sports of college football, college basketball. If you want, I don't think you should get into men's hockey. I think men's hockey, you can already go play semi-pro hockey and make a lot of money. So, in my opinion, those two sports are the only ones that should get compensated for it.
But on the other hand, you've got baseball that for years have had the farm system that have kind of taken those kids from...
I've completely missed some of these people.
Right.
Go ahead and keep going.
Have kept those kids from playing college baseball. They're already into the farm system.
Right.
I mean, just because you get drafted doesn't mean you have to go.
Correct.
But you get a lot of those kids that will take that first initial paycheck and try to make it in the big leagues.
Right.
Working through the minors. Haven't they set the pattern for these other sports instead of it being the other way around?
Baseball has a good blueprint.
Right.
It's also, according to some professional athletes that I hear on different national shows and stuff, say it's the easiest sport to go pro in. Maybe I agree with that because there's single A, there's double A, there's triple A, there's major leagues. There are some other farm systems you can make money. A lot of those that I've covered in the past don't make that much money.
Right.
A couple $100 a game. And you're putting your body on the line and stuff like that. So the Major League Baseball system has done a good job with paying people. Kyler Murray, the Oklahoma quarterback, making $4.5 million this year because he has signed a baseball contract but is playing college football. Make sense? It doesn't make sense.
So, but he can't get paid until he finishes his college career.
I actually don't know that. I actually don't know.
Because he can't be eligible.
They say he's making as much money this year as his head coach, Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley makes 4.8. He makes 4.5. Yeah.
Wow.
Can you imagine if a college football player got paid? Just saying. The competition level is already good.
Right.
But just saying. Okay, I want to catch up on a couple of these.
That's okay. The only thing I would say on that is you've got...
Well, you can't give them millions of dollars. That's not what I'm saying.
But here's what I'm saying. If you have trouble with pro athletes who have going head-to-head with their coaches because of the money they're making, even if college athletes don't make that much money, doesn't that empower them even more to try to make demands upon their coaches instead of being team players?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, no doubt.
That would be one of my arguments.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean,
Plus, I would feel really bad for those minor sport athletes. When you know the sports I'm talking about, if their friend who's on the football team is making X number of dollars a month, and then they're a college athlete and they're not making anything, is that really fair?
They're getting their education, right?
Well, so is the football player.
Right.
So is the basketball player.
Right, but who is making money? Whose sport is making money off of television deals? Whenever I see college lacrosse or something like that on the TV, it's rare.
Right.
If you see college swimming on TV, it's rare. College football's every freaking Saturday.
Yeah,
College
true.
basketball rules Mondays and rules Wednesdays and rules March.
That's
Can't
true.
do anything about
That's a good point.
In my
I'm
opinion.
sorry.
Well,
Go
no,
ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
So, hello to Randy. Randy says hello from Lubbock.
Hey, Randy.
Margaret Parsons says awesome. Hello, everybody that's saying hi. Coach Embry, Kara, Zach, Emily, Taylor. Didn't someone get in with a few years back with 2 losses? Oh, jeez. Oh, it was the second year.
Yes, there was.
I believe so. It was the second year. It's kind of an ugly year, to be honest. Madison, hello. Matt Nielsen. Josh Davis. Hi, Emily Watson. George Patterson. Beth Rice. Hudson Bentley. J.C. Holmes. Hello, Beth. You guys are great. Let's see. Everybody else. Kara, Paige, J.C. Christian. I know I missed some up at the top here, too. But thanks for watching, hanging out with us. We're just hanging out, chatting sports. And this is the first time going live for us tonight.
Yeah.
For me,
Thanks
personally.
for letting me be a part of that. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's fitting that you would be the first person that I go live with. I don't know who else is going to be willing to come down here into our basement to do this, but I'm actually super curious. Football playoff brackets, because I think there was a couple of years ago that there was a team that made it in with two losses. I believe you're right, Coach Embry. Let's see. No, there was not. There was not. Everybody on here has had 1 loss that I have seen. Alabama's made it every stinking year. It's unbelievable. They were the 4 seed last year. That's a joke. Alabama's ridiculous. Okay.
Let me ask you one last question. Let's talk one more thing about college football and then we can get off there.
Okay.
Should
Then we got to scoot on.
the playoff system be
Hi,
expanded?
Denise.
Should the playoff system
Absolutely.
be expanded? Okay, then how do you... And I know there's been a lot of models for that. What in your opinion, what's...
Well, Division
the
2 does a great job. But then that cuts away... that cuts away a lot of the extra rivalry game type stuff.
Right.
You imagine like Texas, Oklahoma, or Ohio State, Michigan having to be played in like mid-September.
Right.
Because you have to play X number of games and then the playoff starts. I think you just scoot it to 8. There's so much time for competition. You have to win 3 games then. So you go from 8 to 4, 4 to 2, and then 2 to be the winner. So there's 3 games to be the champion.
Right.
And there's, 4 weeks of bowl season?
Right.
So it's like an NFL game.
Sure.
So they have a
absolutely.
week to prepare. So let's say you give it first Saturday and then another Saturday the next weekend, and then you give it 2 weeks until the national title game. You can pack in 8 teams. You can give the Power 5 conferences each an automatic bid, and then 2 at-large qualifiers, 3 at-large qualifiers. So you have the 5 power conferences, and then say there's a UCF that goes undefeated, and Florida that's 1 loss, and then you want to pop in Oklahoma because Texas is already in. Boom, done, and you're at 8. So I think it's possible to do that, but it doesn't need to expand more than 8. I mean, what the NFL playoffs are 6 each side, so 12 total.
Right.
Because they have 2 wild cards, and then they go from there. Right? Is that right? Wild card games.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. Julie's even listening. Hello,
Hey,
Randy
Julie.
and Julie. So yeah, I think it's 8 teams tops, absolute tops. But I think 4 right now is leaving something to be desired, because then that Rose Bowl, or say the outside game that's not a normal playoff game, because it's on a rotation. I think it loses some of its luster,
Right.
because there's not a lot to play for, not a national title.
Well, it's all about the bucks anyhow. I mean, let's just be straight.
Yeah.
And the more games you have, the more bucks they're going to make, the more revenue they're going to make off TV. And so why wouldn't they be open to doing that? And that's the only thing I'm saying is this. Unless you're afraid that a wild card's going to get in there. If you're afraid that somehow your
problem.
Alabama's going to slip and somebody's going to win it over them, which I don't see that happening, but you know, why not? Why not? Everybody loves an underdog, unless they're playing your own team, right?
So I heard this said the other day. Everybody roots for the underdog in the men's basketball tournament
Right.
in March until like the Sweet 16.
Right.
Then they're like, all right, calm down.
Right.
Like Loyola Chicago last year was like, yeah, they're a good story, but let's get rid of them so we can have the powerhouse. So let's obviously Duke and Kansas had to play each other, but I think they're fun to root for in the 64 and the 32. But then once you get to the Sweet 16, you're like, done.
Right.
Stop. Because you want your oh no. Hold on.
Do we go away?
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Maybe. I don't know. Still says we're streaming.
All right.
I don't know. Let's hold on here. We have some technical difficulties here. Are we still live? Does it say we're live? Can you just go to my page and see?
Yes.
I think we had the.
Yes, we're live.
Okay.
We're good. Yeah.
Okay, so we're still there.
we're good.
Okay, sorry about that, guys. I'm not able to see what's going on here right now. We'll try and get back on that here in a second, because I like to see what you guys are saying. College football Cinderella. If UCF made it to the national championship game, I think people would be intrigued.
Right.
At best,
Absolutely.
they might not win,
Right.
but
But to see them get there.
to see them get there, I think would be exciting.
Right. Right.
So, that's just me. I don't know. I mean, let me know. People who are watching, please interact with us. It's kind of why we're doing this. Do you want to see the college football playoff expand? Do you think Ohio State can make it back? Who are your 4 teams? Just give me those because we've talked a lot of college football tonight. You want to talk about some NFL?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think we're kind of getting in the heat of the season.
We're getting.
It's a good time to do that.
What? How long does it say we've been live on there?
Oh,
You
let's see. It doesn't say.
It doesn't say here. Well, let me pull up here.
Yeah, do you see it?
Man, that sounds really good.
27 minutes.
That's fantastic.
27 minutes.
Okay, cool. So let's pump through some of these here real quick.
Okay.
Oh, good. Good. I can hear myself. Perfect.
So do you see the NFL at any point expanding their playoff system? Or do you think it's enough's enough? And if you do, how would they do it?
Yeah.
You know.
If you did, you'd make it a pure 8 teams on each side, but then half the league gets in.
Yeah.
The way they have it right now with the wild cards facing off, you're at 12 teams, I think. So you're at just under, you're just under half. So I don't know. It's I don't think they could expand it because then it gets too watered down.
Right.
Kind of like the NBA has 16 of their 30 teams.
Right.
Which is fun, but then the first 2 rounds don't matter.
Right. Yeah, they're pretty.
So
pretty
I'm gonna have you help me.
Okay.
Okay, you
All
good?
right, sure, let's go.
You let me know if you have any feelings on these,
All right.
okay? So let me pull these up. All right, so we're starting off the Eagles at Jaguars. I've already picked the Texans for tonight, by the way. Thursday night, people who are watching.
Who are they playing tonight?
The Miami Dolphins, and
Ooh,
they are
upset.
minus 7.5.
Right.
No, they're 7.5 point favorites at home. I think Brock Osweiler has a terrible game. I think Houston beats him by more than 7.5 points.
I would tend to agree just because based upon Houston's defense.
Houston's defense is good.
Houston's defense is for
Well,
real.
and Brock Osweiler facing his old team
Right.
for the
Yeah,
first time.
their defense is for real. So I would
So
go with that.
let's go. First off, Sunday's my birthday, so woohoo! I'm excited. Lots of good stuff going to go on there. The Eagles, Jaguars. Let me go ahead and write these down. Philly, minus 3 against the Jaguars.
Okay, for people that are new out there,
Yes.
describe what the -3 means.
So, in theory, if you looked at the scoreboard, and it's actually 0-0 on the real
Right.
scoreboard, it's 0, or give the Jags 3 points.
Right.
They're up 3-0 to start the game.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And you have to cover that 3. So whenever people say cover the spread,
Right.
the Eagles have to beat them by more than 3 to cover the spread.
So if they beat them 21-20, they didn't cover the spread.
Correct.
If they beat them 24-20, they did.
Correct. If it's 21-20 and you pick the Jags, you win.
Okay.
So the other day, Monday Night Football was a terrible bad beat. I had the Falcons minus 4.5 against the Giants. Falcons-Giants. And Eli Manning gets the QB sneak twice, almost gets stopped, and then sure enough they score 30 seconds left in the game. And then they go for 2. So it's 5 points, and then they go for 2, and it goes to 3. Snaps the spread. You pick the Giants, you win. I picked the Falcons. So that's called a bad beat.
Right.
Anyways, okay. So back to this. Philly versus Jacksonville at London. Blake Bortles really good in London.
Oh, but
in London, playing for his job.
Oh, Jonathan, Bortles. He's
that
done.
defense,
he's done.
dude.
He's done. I mean, after against KC, after against Dallas, after last week, and he gets yanked. I just don't see it. I don't. I mean, he may prove me wrong, but I don't see it. I think
I'm gonna make a dad column, and then I'm gonna make a me column because I'm going Jacksonville plus 3 because I get points.
Right.
See, look, I'm already at 3-0.
Sure.
So you're going Philly.
But and I would never pick Philly for anything. But
I know that's why I'm disappointed.
I do believe that they will cover that.
I do believe.
I do believe.
All right, we have Baltimore at Carolina. Baltimore 2-point favorites. Just gonna check on this. Everything's good. Okay, cool. Everything's just nice and bueno here. Let's make sure my sound is turned down. Perfect. Boom. All right, we still have 6 of you guys hanging in there with us. Thanks, guys.
That's good. Yeah, we appreciate that very much.
We had close to 10 for a while. So Baltimore at Carolina. Baltimore is 2-point favorite. So they have to win by more than 2.
What's their record right now? I haven't even
Baltimore's 4-3.
So
Baltimore's 4-3, and they lost to New Orleans last week by a point.
What's Carolina at?
4-2.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, they're right there even. And it's at Carolina.
Right.
And they get 2 points, which I'm questioning why. But
Right.
I'm going Panthers.
Yeah, I think I would have to go with you there.
Because you're getting plus 2 points, which is nice.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a good call.
Oh, wait. You're going Carolina?
Yeah,
Sorry, I wrote down that you're going Baltimore.
No, I'm going with
All right, next game up.
So.
Let me scroll down here for you folks following along online. Also, if you're listening on SoundCloud, thank you. Also, this is going to be posted up on YouTube later on, so thanks for joining us. This was performed live / done live. Cleveland at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh -8. Now, fun fact, the Browns are 5-1-1 in my spread against the spread. Last week, they pushed again, so they're 5-0-2 against the spread in our league. And the line that it finished at, they have 2 losses. So if you're watching and seeing this online, which, by the way, OddsShark is what I use. Thank you for you guys allowing me to use this. Courtesy to them. So Pittsburgh -8 at home.
Oh, they'll cover it
Against Cleveland.
Yeah, I would like to say no. I think it's. We keep calling Cleveland. They're eventually going to get a big one. I just don't think it's this week.
This is the rematch of Week 1 that they tied.
Yeah, I just don't see it.
So you're going Pittsburgh.
I just don't see it.
I haven't picked against.
Again, I'm not a pit.
I haven't picked against the Browns all year, and I'm not stopping now.
Okay, all right.
-8, or I get 8 points on the road. Cleveland Browns bounce back. Boom. They've played so many overtime games. I kind of need to go back on that.
They said it was a record, right? Or it could be
5 overtime for a team back in the 80s. Who was it? The Packers in the 80s. Somebody's gonna correct me on it. Everybody heard the stats. I'm sorry, I've forgotten since now. Denver Broncos. Right now we're in Kansas City. So, hello Charlotte Schultz. Good to see you. Sorry, we're looking down and I did not see who else is joining us. So, hello Charlotte. Good to see you. Yeah, so keep an eye on that for me. That way I don't get. Everybody just saw all that stuff too. Good. Denver at Kansas City. This is a big line, Dad. This is a juicy line. If you're a bettor,
Which I'm not. But.
I know. You're not, and neither am I. That's the thing. I'm just sitting here giving you an opinion. 10 points is a lot. Kansas City has to cover 10 points. They're favored by 10. And that's going to be is it a 1 o'clock game? It is. They get to play a noon game. They've been in prime time for a while. The Chiefs have. Do you think Denver, with a 10-0 lead to start...
What's their record right now?
Denver's 3-4. 2-4-1 against the spread.
And what was the score the last time these guys played? Because I know they've already played once.
It was close. It's really, really close.
You don't have to do that. That's all right.
It was really close. It'd help if I could type on here, guys. They beat them on, was it Monday Night Football? When was it? 27-23 Chiefs.
Yeah, I don't, kind of based upon that, and even though the Chiefs are hot right now, I think 10 points is a lot to cover. I don't see them covering. I'd have to go Denver on that.
Okay. Well, we won't say anything to the people upstairs. By literally upstairs, I mean my in-laws. Kansas City 7-0 against the spread. I don't think it stops.
All right.
I think they get it done. New York Jets on the road at Chicago. Chicago coming off a tough loss. Did you see the end of that game?
I did.
Yeah. Literally the 1 yard line. Had an opportunity to beat Tom Brady at Soldier Field, and it was 1 yard short. So what are your thoughts? -7.5. The Bears are.
The Bears will cover it.
Okay.
Bears will cover it. And Jets. They're
Mitchell Trubisky.
I know.
Versus Sam Darnold.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Trubisky.
Oh, yeah.
I think Chicago -7.5 is enough to get the job done. I think the line should be a little bigger on that. But they don't build those massive things for nothing.
Right.
Out in Vegas, you know? Which, by the way, we need to go to Vegas.
Yes, we do.
We're planning on going to Vegas.
Play some golf.
You guys let us know what you guys do in Vegas. I know what a lot of people do in Vegas, but it typically stays there.
Give us your opinion on the best golf course out there.
I have played some.
Really
I've played some. They're nice.
You had the first hole-in-one out there, right?
I did. Hole-in-one out there. I had my first streak of 6-1 putts.
Jeez.
And I was on fire. Rebecca was with me, and I was on fire. Unbelievable. That day was so good. Okay, Seattle Seahawks at the Lions. Lions -3. Russell Wilson at 3-3, and the Seahawks and the Lions are at 3-3. But however, the Lions are 5-1 against the spread.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Lions just because they're at home. Yeah. And just because of their record against the spread.
Coming off a big win against Miami. The Ryan Tannehill-less. I said that right?
Yeah.
Tannehill-less. Yeah, I said that
Dolphins.
Right. Dolphins.
Yeah.
I think they get the job done -3. Tampa Bay at Cincinnati. Cincinnati coming off a thwomping here in Kansas City. It was not pretty. That was a Sunday night football game. Cincinnati -4 against the Bucks. Dad?
What's the Bucks' record this year?
3-3. They start off 2-0 and then they've cooled off.
Yeah.
They had a week 4 bye, which is weird.
Where are they playing?
They're at Cincinnati.
I think Cincinnati backs. They come back.
Come back.
They'll bounce back.
I think they'll bounce back against not a great team.
Yeah, not a great team, but yeah.
I agree with that.
You got mediocre against mediocre, so.
Yeah, neither one great. I think Cincinnati might make the playoffs, which is how bad the AFC is. Besides, you got the Chiefs, you got the Patriots. Who else? Anybody?
Well, you sure want to be playing.
Chiefs. People are going to be swearing on the Steelers up and down by the end of the season. Oh, the Steelers are a great team. I want to see if they make the playoffs. I don't think they make the playoffs. All right, here's 2 teams we hate.
All right.
Redskins at Giants. Redskins -1 point. The Giants are not very good. Giants are 1-6, and they trade away their best corner this week.
Well, I have to go to the Skins then, I think.
I think the Redskins, I hate to say this because the Redskins are just plowing ahead and going to win the division, which is stupid.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what?
I agree.
Just because I'm going Washington. I have to. How's everything going over there? We're still good? Anybody new joining?
Yeah, Jody Cross joined us. Hey, Jody.
Hi, Jody. How are you? Appreciate it. If you guys want to drop a like on the page, I'll be doing this more. I mean, obviously, this is a great occasion getting to do this with my dad. So.
Oh, and Tracy Bruton.
Oh,
Tracy.
hello, Tracy.
She's my coworker.
Yeah.
Hey, Tracy.
Heck yeah. Indianapolis and Oakland is another snoozer.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
If you want an afternoon nap. By the way, Indy's -3 at Oakland.
At Oakland.
At the black hole that is the baseball field.
Well, Oakland just lost their big-time receiver, right? The Cowboys picked him up.
Cowboys got him. Amari Cooper.
I think I got to go with Indy. I think.
Okay, Indy
they're
-3.
Be a little down about
I think
that.
Oakland is officially on the tanking zone.
Yeah, if you start letting people go like that,
they've shipped off some good guys there, and I wouldn't be shocked. The trade deadline is less than a week away now. I wouldn't be shocked if Jaguars get on the phone and call over to the Raiders and see if Derek Carr is available.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna be crazy, but the Jags are trying to win right now. They have a good defense, but Blake Bortles is trash. So the Raiders could be very much in young mode whenever they head to Vegas. All right, Green Bay, because they will head to Vegas
Right.
soon enough. Oh boy, this is a massive line. So Aaron Rodgers has only been the underdog by this much only one other time in his career. Packers at Rams, undefeated Rams.
Right.
Rams are -9 in the Coliseum.
Oh,
Who you got? Can they be stopped?
I got to go Rams. I just think they're too overall strong right now, and I think there's still some big question marks for Green Bay.
You see the spread consensus, so I love using this on OddsShark. So if you're looking up here with me, guys, on Facebook Live, 63% of the public are going Aaron Rodgers +9. I am on the Rams train. I think the Rams are really good. You know what? Could be the game of the year coming up. It could be the best game ever played in Mexico. I dare say it. Here in a few weeks, it's going to be the Rams and the Chiefs in Mexico City. That could be a Super Bowl preview.
Yeah, it could be for certain.
But for me, I have the Saints going to the Super Bowl over the Rams. So.
Oh, do you really?
I do.
Wow.
We'll get to them here in a second.
About that.
San Francisco 49ers, who are I thought this game happened a few weeks ago. Maybe I was wrong. No, something else like this happened where it was just two terrible teams that shouldn't be playing NFL football. You know, the guys try hard, but they're not very good for professional athletes. Like, don't pretend like I could go out there and play. 49ers -1 at Arizona. Both teams have 1 win, 6 losses on the year.
Oh. Yeah, it's just... Ew.
If you're watching this game, your life needs some love.
Yeah, you need to pick a new team maybe, but...
Yeah.
Gosh, I'm going to pick Arizona just because they're at home.
Okay, Arizona.
I think that's the only way I would know to pick that because I think they're both really struggling.
I'll go San Francisco on a gut. I don't really know. That's a bad game. That's a real bad game. This could be a better game, though. The rematch of the Minneapolis Miracle from last year's NFC Championship game. New Orleans at Minnesota. Minnesota -1.
So what's Minnesota's record? I don't.
4-2-1.
4-2. Yeah,
and the Saints are 5-1. This is gonna be a good game.
Gosh,
that's Sunday Night Football. Sunday Night Football.
New Orleans is just hard to pick against. I pick New Orleans.
Which, by the way, Sunday Night Football has gotten some good games, and Monday Night Football's are really not been good this year.
Yeah.
Saints are my Super Bowl pick. I've picked Minnesota a lot lately, but I get a point and the better quarterback. I like Kirk Cousins, but Drew Brees is a lot better than that. All right, Monday Night Football, last one here. New England at Buffalo.
Tiffany Qualls just joined us.
Hello, Tiffany. Hello. -14.
Who's this?
Patriots at Bills, Monday Night Football. This is gonna be a bad game.
Here's the deal. They're trying to hype that up as the what is it? What's been the hype this week? Anyway, they've been really playing it up as the they clash again or something like that. The Bills are just gonna get killed.
Bills are terrible.
Gonna get killed. It's like my question earlier, which we never got to, was should the NFL run up the score? Gosh, if you can't play with me, I'm just going to beat you down and just go on. And I think that's going to be one of those games. I think New England will they could be calling for cheerleaders by the second quarter.
Yeah. It could get ugly.
Yeah.
It's at Buffalo. I haven't seen the forecast. I've not seen the forecast. I'm curious to see what they say. Let's see. They typically have, there we go. 39 degrees, 30% chance of rain, wind from the north.
Well, Tom will make sure there's a little air out of the ball. So
I'll go New England for those of you who are keeping tallies at home. I am 4 games above 500 this year. Nobody else is above 500 yet.
Yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about this whole thing?
It's a blast, man. In fact, if you want to team up on this, I'll get on at home and we can.
Well, it's literally called Classic Polasek Podcast,
Yeah.
and you are technically the more classic of the classic classics.
Is that another word for old?
No.
Oh, okay. I just check it.
Why would I call the show Classic Polasek if it's old? No, it's fresh. It's new. It's hip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well.
And I'll keep track of your picks. I like that.
Daniel, this joint is.
Hello,
Daniel
Uncle
Ortner.
D. Oh wait,
Daniel Ortner.
Daniel
From the
Ortner.
church, yeah.
Oh, hello, Daniel.
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought it was Uncle Daniel
That's all right.
earlier. So for those of you who are going to listen on SoundCloud or watch it back on YouTube or Facebook, this is going to sound really weird, but we've been live for the past 46 minutes. So longest show in show history. Congrats.
All right.
We could have gotten a lot more.
Yeah. We probably had 5 or 6 more.
We
questions.
went through
We
what,
could have
3
done,
questions?
Yeah. But that's
We
all
did
right.
3 or 4
That's good.
questions. Well, people's spans are only so far, right? I mean, their attention spans are like, I want to watch Thursday Night Football or whatever. We're gonna go play a game here pretty soon. So,
Can we leave with one baseball?
Yep,
thought
one
before
baseball
we go?
thought. World
We're getting
Series.
around to World Series right now.
Yep.
Do the Dodgers win a game?
Yes, they
Do
do.
they scratch? And what game will that be?
Game 3.
So tomorrow night.
They'll
they're
win
gonna-
tomorrow
they're gonna
night.
Break through.
Red Sox are starting a righty, so we'll finally see some lefties in the lineup for the Dodgers. Analytics are stupid, in my opinion.
Right.
And baseball is the fact that they didn't start 3 of their best players in the World Series because it was lefty on lefty is a problem. That's a problem. So they'll start some lefties tomorrow. I think Peterson, Muncy have a big game. Bellinger have a big game. So I think the Dodgers get it done tomorrow.
Yeah. Do you see more as I listened coming up last night?
Mm-hmm.
Do you see more and more teams in the playoffs and especially in the World Series starting to use starters as closers, as mid-men, as those kind of things during games instead of holding them out to be a starter later on? Is the win now
That's
philosophy
interesting.
instead of wait till later on in the series? In
It's
case it goes
interesting.
long?
Yeah, I mean, you can't, in my opinion, you can't take that chance. If you have a starter and you trust the starter and you trust your bullpen, you have to go with what got you there.
Right.
I don't think you can thrust a starter into a mid-roll or a closing role unless it's game 6 or 7.
Right.
Like Bumgarner, Madison Bumgarner, whenever he mowed down the Royals in 14, won the MVP or should have if he didn't. He pitched 2 full games, or close to full games. I know it's not full 9 innings. He didn't do that, but close to full games, like 8+ innings, and then came in game 7 and gave him 5 innings.
Right.
You know, like what he did was Herculean. So
like Kelly for Boston, he's started twice in the playoffs, and now he has 3 relief stints, and the last night's was key to get that win for them. So, but that may keep him from being a starter later on if it goes too long.
Right, yeah.
So,
I mean, you're burning your match.
Right.
When do you want to use it?
Right. So, just
that's interesting.
Final thoughts.
Interesting
Little baseball thoughts. So.
Yeah, baseball. Baseball for people who are watching. Thursday Night Football last week beat the ALCS in TV ratings.
Is that right?
Just to let you know where the state of baseball is. So,
well.
yeah. So, this is it.
It's
You
all
good?
right, man. It's
You
great.
good? Thanks,
Great.
Bob. Oh, sorry. You went for
Love
the
it, man.
pound.
Little fist
There you
bump.
go.
I love you, man.
Love you too, dude. So, guys on Facebook, thank you for watching. If you guys wouldn't mind, tell your friends about it, share it out. I've recorded these the past couple of weeks. This live thing is pretty fun. Enjoyed doing this, but clearly you have to have somebody to talk with. So we'll see what we can do about that. And yeah, if I can get some people, then I'll start doing it live. If not, I'll see what I can do as far as getting it on Skype. Actually, it could be something that I did. You know what? I haven't done one of these today, Dan. It's a foghorn.
Yeah, well, let's hear it. I see.
No, I already did it. You can't hear it out loud in here.
Started to say this awful loud when you do it.
Yeah. Sorry, was it too
that's
loud?
All right. No, that's good.
Okay.
I love
Cool.
it. I just thought you need a cowbell or something. Too.
Yeah.
You got to get a cowbell.
Yeah, no kidding. All right. Well, we're gonna wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Like the Facebook page if you haven't. SoundCloud, Classic Polasek Podcast, all those things. YouTube, JP Sports Guys, my channel name. Just search Classic Polasek Podcast, you'll find it. Subscribe over there, and I'll see you next week. Until then, enjoy the NFL weekend. Dad, thanks again.
Thanks a lot. It was fun.
And we'll see you next time.
All right.